Now, 800 CHAB presents Ask the Expert. Here's Rob Carney.
With Greg Marcyniuk from Heritage Insurance in downtown Moose Jaw. Valentine's Day next up on the schedule, Greg. And of course, that means jewelry, in some cases, expensive jewelry. And we should keep in mind we need to have some protection in place if we're going to make that investment.
That's correct. Typically, Valentine's Day is a big time for people. It's the biggest time for people to pop the question. So typically it is one of the biggest purchases that an individual will make for their loved one. So with that in mind, the biggest thing, once you do get the jewelry, don't just place your jewelry on a jewelry box on top of your dresser drawer, or don't put them in a dresser drawer. Anything that's valuable, like if you're not wearing it on a regular basis, I would certainly recommend that you get a safety ULC safe in your home that's mounted, or better yet, get a safety deposit box at the bank. That's the absolute best. The second thing, and I know a lot of times it's not as romantic, but make sure that you get the receipt, or if it's something that you haven't got insured, have it appraised, and make sure you have full replacement cost on that, because things can happen so quickly with jewelry. As well, know who has access to your jewelry. If you do have a safe, don't just share that combination with anybody, because I'm sure there's other valuables in there. As well as when you're wearing gloves, take precaution when you're wearing gloves, because that's where you can lose pieces of the jewel, of the diamond on the gloves. The other thing, don't place jewelry in your pockets. A lot of times people will forget about it, put it into the washing machine. That can damage and, again, lose diamonds. So don't get in the habit of doing that. As well, keep your jewelry away from sinks, counters, and public areas. I know a lot of time people will wash their hands. They'll take their jewelry off to wash their hands and leave it there. And it's so easy to forget them, leave it there. So, again, that's another bad habit not to get into. And again, prevent damage by removing your jewelry. So when you're performing any outdoor activities, including, sports, or if you're doing any sort of lawn work or yard work, make sure that you take your jewelry off and, again, put it in a safe location. Don't just put it up on the counter or by the windowsill where it's easily accessible and easily viewed. And the other thing that we recommend is that you have your jewelry inspected at least once a year by a certified jeweler, just to make sure that the claws are in place and that you aren't going to lose any of those diamonds. So again, it is a big investment, and it's something that is not only valuable, but it's probably more valuable from a sentimental point of view, because that's, again, one of the most important things in your life when your loved one asks you to marry them.
And you've told us this before, and we should stress it again. If you don't have that safe in the home, at the very least, you should have photos of your valuables.
That's correct, Rob. And again, with jewelry, keep your receipts, take a photo of it. Again, it's just important. It makes things so much easier when it comes time for a claim to have these things in place, because I tell you, you're under enough grief when you've been violated by somebody breaking into your home. It's such a hard thing to go through, and the easier it is for you to go through and to sit down with your adjuster and show them the proof of ownership, just makes it so much easier for all parties involved.
Helpful hints available online at nohassleiinsurance.ca, or come down to Heritage Insurance in downtown Moose Jaw and see Greg or any of the fine folks at Heritage Insurance. Greg Marcyniuk from Heritage Insurance on 800 CHAB's Ask the Expert.
This has been Ask the Expert on 800 CHAB.